6 teams are competing for a trophy first raced for in 1851 around the Isle of Wight.
This is, I'd say, the strongest group of challengers that America's Cup's seen in a long time. I think, you know, anyone could take a race off anyone else.
The preliminary regatta, 4 days of round-robin racing. Each team races one another once. For all teams, an opportunity to take the pulse of the opposition.
All of us, we all want to win, and we will do all it takes to win.
We are good to go. We are officially underway on the road to the 37th America's Cup.
I think we're going to see one of the best America's Cup ever here in Barcelona.
We are experiencing sailing at speeds and competition like we have never seen before.
There is no question about our ambition. We push as hard as we can. We've got an unbelievable boat, and I think after that everything is possible.
1 point for the win, 0 for the second place in the Louis Vuitton preliminary regatta.
It's as tough as it gets in sport, trying to win the America's Cup, so there's plenty to work on, but that's the nature of the beast.
We're on the board and going. This is a preliminary regatta, but we're feeling confident after day one and looking forward to day two.
Bienvenidos and welcome to day 2 of the Louis Vuitton preliminary regatta here in Barcelona. A little taste before the run to the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. The opening day of racing offered us some glimpses into some teams' boat performance. Alinghi Red Bull Racing bounced back from a mast failure in training and recorded an important first win. American Magic recovered from a big stuff the day before to lock in a gutsy win against the challenger of record, Ineos Britannia. So what did the day show? Well, it showed us that unforced errors are costly. Just ask Orient Express Racing. American Magic, despite their win, had a couple of moments to sweat on. And the other measurable factor, all teams want their boats to be reliable. Luna Rossa had a systems issue in their first race and had to retire, but they ended the day with a win in the bag. So after day 1, 4 different teams managed to clock up wins, while Ineos Britannia and Orient Express Racing came away empty-handed. Sir Ben Ainsley commenting, Ineos Britannia need to find some horsepower. Today, 4 more races, and it will be American Magic and the defender, Emirates Team New Zealand, with 2 races apiece, and we cannot wait. And the teams are all ready to go, and Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli with a 50% record yesterday. Lots of work done on the sim this morning by Orient Express Racing, particularly around the starts. They would have been happy, Alinghi Red Bull Racing, with their result yesterday. And then the defender, Emirates Team New Zealand, in many ways gifted win, but they are looking strong. They've got Ineos Britannia, 0-1. They need to find some horses. They'll find it, don't you worry. And then there's American Magic. The men on this boat looks quick. And the crowds here in Barcelona are loving it. This is the Mall de la Fusta. This is the main race village, and people are just laying back, sitting back and enjoying themselves. Big screens, entertainment, and just taking in their first taste of the 37th America's Cup. And you can watch it wherever you want around the world. All right, a beautiful day. Let's see what the conditions are like with Shirley Robertson.
The racetrack here in Barcelona is really delivering. Breeze is a nearly perfect 9 to 13 knots from the southwest and predicted to build a little as the afternoon rolls on. And giving us all a view of what's actually happening as it's happening for the first time ever, thanks to Capgemini's technology, we can accurately show you the wind. So how does that work? Well, along the shorelines of Barcelona, multiple laser radar systems are sending out 30,000 laser pulses every second, tracking the microscopic movements in the air and revealing, well, the invisible. Windsight IQ gives us the key ingredient, which we can then mix with the AC75 simulated performance to predict the winning route.
Here we go, race 5, Alinghi Red Bull Racing, American Magic.
At its very core, the Swiss team knows what it takes. 2 times victorious Alinghi with the might of sports powerhouse Red Bull are back. Skippered by Saraphagus, they field their regular driver and trimmer talent and supplying the wattage to make it all possible. Olympic rowers Maifir and Jaku, middle distance Supremo, Noti, and former Youth America's Cup medalists from 2017, Survey.
The well-established team of American Magic will be looking for a solid day on the water against Alinghi Red Bull Racing in today's race. Steering the yacht is Paul Goodison on the port side and Tom Slingsby on starboard. Foil trimmers Andrew Campbell and Michael Miniger round out the afterguard, and in the recumbent cycling positions powering the hydraulic pumps, John Croom, Chris Shirley, James Wright and Tim Hornsby round out the cycling.
So we are good to go. Race 5, the start of day 2 of the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta. There are your helmsmen, Alinghi Red Bull Racing at the top, and then American Magic at the bottom. It's going to be a fascinating race, this one. The first time they'll have a real good go at each other before we get into the Challenger Selection Series. Beautiful day out. Wind's not as strong as it was yesterday, but you can see these boats do not care.
This is the race committee. The wind sampling period is complete, and this race is live.
Another stunning day off the coast of Barcelona. Stephen McIver, two-time Olympic gold medalist Shirley Robertson, three-time America's Cup winner Glenn Ashby, and on the water Peter Lester, now Chase 00 emissions boat. So it'll be port entry for Alinghi Red Bull Racing. 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Here we go, mate.
Yeah, both teams looking really nice here for a solid pre-start entry. So in about 15 seconds we'll see Alinghi Red Bull Racing hopefully entering really nicely on time, followed by American Magic at 2 minutes.
Big match this. They both had a solid day yesterday and will be wanting to check each other out.
So they've had their challenges, Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Do they make it in on time in 2 minutes and 10 seconds? A little bit late, but the dance will begin shortly. We're waiting 6-5, counting for American Magic to come in. They too will come in a little bit late, but the dance begins.
Put down here in 2, 1, put down. And turning. Happy to do a bit of the two border cross here and just take a little bit of height. And just assess. He turns back now. It's just, yeah, actually.
Alinghi opting for a circle there straight away to actually be pushing American Magic across the other side. So American Magic extending time on distance from them from here, and they'll be looking to lead on the way back ideally.
Okay, ratio 2.9. They can start bearing away.
All about the time and distance here, when you lead back, when you decide to pull the trigger and go.
Hey, he's staying behind. We're just going to hold it down here.
Hey, well above the starboard line.
Yeah, copy, got that. Ready, boat.
25. 24.
Sneaking up a little.
23. 20 to the company.
Aim is tight to fluid,
So American Magic there extending away downwind. They're pretty much going to want to basically try and lock Alinghi Red Bull Racing into windward there and not let them get behind. So Alinghi Red Bull Racing need to make sure that they can actually get clear there and not get locked out above the start line.
Inside the last 30 seconds to start for race 5 of this Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta. Not too much toing and froing at the moment.
I've got a strong position here for American Magic off this start.
Racing. Holding up slightly.
Straight run to the line for both these AC75s who are underway on day 2. Race 5, the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta.
Yeah, Shirley, really tough for Alinghi Red Bull Racing to hang there. They're going to have to tack out fairly shortly or they're going to get paid a big penalty.
A bit of mistiming for them. I felt they went for the push, but they went too late. And, well, Tom Slingsby and American Magic could just completely do his own thing and get such a perfect start.
Let's go on to the water, Chase 0, Peter Lester. What did you make of the start, Pete?
Yeah, strong start by American Magic. Time on distance was perfect. Lingy were always going to be pushing hard to get to the line. They forced the peel away early. So initial advantage to American Magic off the line.
A length and a half, 2 lengths. Happy distance. Yeah, half a notch past the target, a notch past.
Really interesting that American Magic decided not to hit the Lingy there, so they must see something out to the right-hand side of the course, more breeze, because match racing normally you would have landed straight on there.
We have generally seen the right-hand side, particularly at the bottom part of that course, really be quite favoured.
20 seconds, so almost just before boundary. Then
20 seconds.
spinning to slowly ahead. Happy to recover you. Okay, stand by.
I need.
And in 3, 2, 1. And turning. Come smoke. We're heading this way. Yep. 25 to intersection. Maybe my button.
Has the distance look good?
Really good lead. Okay.
By attack, we're going to have to get up and see.
Put down in 3, 2, 1. Go forward.
And turning.
Spot up.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate. Course length is now 1.75 nautical miles.
Again in front. That's marginal if we make that.
Even top gates, I'm happy to go for a boundary tack and see if I pin that out.
It was so nice to hear the dialogue between the helmsman there, Tom Slingsby, and Paul Goodison. They really want that right-hand side, aren't they? Fighting hard for it, in preference really to defending with a Lingy.
Must have been a real team plan to protect the right there, because they're really working that right-hand side of the course hard.
Much lighter on the right, on the left of the top.
Nice gains here.
Just having a look at the wind field coming up fairly shortly here of what's actually happening on the course. And you can see the Lingy Red Bull racing there over the left-hand side of the course there. Nice pressure coming down from the top right for American Magic, so they'll take a further gain as they get into the top gate.
How far are the tack? Yeah, it's going to be 10 seconds the other way, a bit less. And then a bear away, guys, so right.
American Magic comfortably will take the top gate for the first leg of this section. They'll then head downwind. Just look at the way the speeds are turned. They'll take the right-hand gate, or the left-hand gate as you see it, right hand to them, heading back towards that pressure.
Push all the way down.
Smoothly go around. They had memories yesterday of maybe a bad rounding, but they are slick, and they're followed around by Lingy Red Bull Racing. This is always the fascinating thing. Watch the speeds increase downwind. 12 seconds to deficit.
Just want to always keep him to the other side of it. Lower than that.
Can go before the lane.
Okay, we have 10 seconds.
And entering the zone. Probably have your max entry. 2, 1, down.
At the moment, it's we could probably make one and then left.
Having a look at the wind field here, overlaid of what's actually on the course there, and you can see both boats sailing into better pressure there. American Magic probably getting the best transition through this pressure, so we should see them with a slightly higher boat speed as they sail through this pressure.
10 knots of wind over 40 knots of boat speed.
Coming into open course.
Still impressive.
Every time you say that, you just shake your head, don't you?
In a nice lefty here. There he goes, board down, stand by. Board down here in 3, 2, 1, board down. In turn.
So a strong margin by American Magic. Let's go onto the wall with chase 0. Consistent sort of race right now, Pete.
Yeah, it's pretty even. American Magic are flying a little bit lower to the water, so they're getting a nice end plate effect from the hull to the water, especially forward of the mast. And their manoeuvres are small. I've got them extending a little bit. Point to just note, you know, they're doing a boat length every second at the moment at 40 knots. That's just how quickly they gobble up leg 2.
In many ways, we get into these boats, a bit like Cookie Monster, who wants cookies. He just gobble up that speed, just throw it out the back.
So interesting listening to the dialogue between Tom Slingsby and Paul Goodison. You know, they were rivals in the Olympic world for such a long time, and I know it's been hard for them to really work on that communications. It's what you say, the language you use, how you say it. It's so crucial, isn't it? They're like two pilots in an aircraft.
Copy. Doesn't look better this side though, so don't go too long.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. If he splits, but we wait for him to tack.
Yeah, copy.
And then we'll do the same as we did at Brits yesterday. We'll just split across. Okay, so it's going to be a 2-board turn up here. And board down here in 2, 1, board down. And turn again.
American Magic round the bottom mark for the first time. You heard Tom Slingsby say quite clearly, 2 boards down and away they go. Nice and sweet and safe. Followed around once again by Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Both these teams racing cleanly, and I know Glenn Ashby would love to say it, sailing efficiently.
Both teams doing a really nice job of sailing the boats well here. Almost the easiest conditions to sail these boats in at the moment, so there's absolutely no excuses for wobbles in these conditions. Both boats sailing with a J2 jib, which is the second biggest jib. Slightly lighter breeze at the moment, around that sort of 9 to 11 knot mark, so they're needing a bit more sail area to get the boats to maximum performance.
Let's go on the American Magic chase boat and talk to Coach Tom Burnham. Thanks for joining us once again, Coach. Looks nice and tidy today.
Yeah, it does. Actually, Glenn made a really good point there about how this is about as good as it gets. You know, 12 knots in flat water. It doesn't get much better than any boat, but an AC-75 especially.
Yeah, Tom, the guys are sailing the boat really, really nicely here. I mean, this is absolutely as good as it gets, as you said. What mainsail have you guys got up today? Are you running your big one in these conditions?
Yeah, it's a little bit of the larger size mainsail for the expected conditions today. And then, as you said, you know, running a J2 and perfect spot for it. It's great.
No, well done. Sails look great, mate. Nice work.
Tom, we're enjoying listening to the onboard audio. I mean, a great comms between the two helmsmen. How important is that, and how big a deal has it been to get these two guys working so well together?
Yeah, it's huge, Shirley. As you say, it's the comms between the guys are crucial for them to work together as a group, but it also helps keep the cyclers informed of what's going on, so the whole team is all on the same page. So it's really crucial, and they're really doing a great job of it. We've been working on it really hard.
Appreciate the time, Coach. Get back into it.
All right, thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Down in 3, 2.
What about the pace, Glenn? Do you think we can tell anything from this race about the relatives?
Yeah, it's quite an interesting one, actually. I mean, it's really the first time these two teams have really lined up against each other, and they'll be absolutely gauging everything, you know, off each other. And just that little advantage that American Magic had off the start, they sort of have capitalised on that little gain to the right-hand side of the course, and really not allowing Alinghi Red Bull Racing much breathing space to really sort of sail their own race. They're dictating them quite fiercely.
Lots of wind speed differences all over the course, and you know, if you are ahead, you pick your own way, don't you? It's like skiing down the moguls. You pick your way through it, and if you're behind, you know, less choice about where you go. So hard to really know if it's breeze related or if it's actual boat speed.
And bottom.
Nice righty coming down. Might spiver.
American Magic doing it by the numbers. And when we say doing it by the numbers, everything is done by the numbers. Moves, tacks, jives, everything done by the numbers. It's a choreographed dance, isn't it, to the nth degree.
Nice work, guys. We got 20 seconds this way before a right-hand turn. We got a nice lead over them. Halfway through.
Confidence building. You sense that when you hear them, doesn't it, with the American team?
This one. Quite a big left here.
Helm and trim of American Magic as they go down and will take the top mark in a comfortable lead at the moment against the Red Bull Racing. And we're at the halfway mark of race 5 in the Louis Vuitton preliminary regatta here off the coast of Barcelona. Another glorious day in the Catalan capital. It doesn't appear too much at this particular point in time that a Red Bull Racing can do about American Magic, but pretty much follow them around the racetrack.
You clear in 3, 2, 1, clear.
And that deficit now has popped out to 31 seconds.
Yeah, the trailing boat in these conditions, having to sail through the bubble of dirty air every tack on the upwind. Even though they're not getting hit, they're having to sail through the turbulent air off the boat in front every time they tack, going upwind and downwind in actual fact. So a little loss of power, a little loss of efficiency in these conditions when the rigs are bending the air a lot, and that makes a big difference.
In layman's terms, for people that don't truly understand the turbulent air talk about sailing, when you say turbulent air coming off the front boat, how do you explain that simply?
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second, but just having a quick look at the ghost boat shots here, Stephen, you know, there's really not a whole lot that Alinghi Red Bull Racing can do here at the moment with the breeze on the course. The ghost boat's saying, you know, they've just got to stay in touch with American Magic. They can't jibe away for anything special, so they just need to keep sailing the boat well. But having a look at the rig here, you can imagine the air going around those sails, and that is using energy. That's what's sucking the boat forward. That exhausted air, if you like, off the back of the rig is very, very turbulent and very dirty. It's very, very unclean for the boat behind. So that trails out the back, and the opponent will sail through that turbulent air. It's a bit like an aircraft taking off. You have to give a couple of minutes for the runway to clear. It's exactly what's happening here. They're sailing through the dirty air of the plane in front of them.
So stay away from it, you get blown off course.
Correct.
What do we got? We got 20 this way. I think you'll probably jive here pretty soon. But yeah, happy to go to lane line from here, 15.
Generally on this downwind leg, American Magic just a bit faster, at least a knot, sometimes more, than Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
Stand by.
There's a great shot of the layout of the helm and trim on American Magic side by side, completely different to all the other teams.
If you're wondering where their sight floors are, you can see just the top of their head. They're on recumbent bikes. They're facing backwards. And recumbent bikes, really, so they're nice and low down. So the freeboard of the hull can be smaller than the other teams.
Just confirming 2 boards.
American Magic steaming into the bottom mark for the second time. Look at that speed, 44, 40, close to 45 knots coming into that. Just think about it. You've got to get round that bottom mark doing that. A bit like hitting the brakes with both boards down. And away they go, clean as a whistle.
He looks like he's setting up followers this way.
Let's go on board the chase boat for Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Petro Sabello, thanks for joining us. Tough day out, but it's a clean race for Alinghi Red Bull Racing at this point as you get ready to round that bottom mark.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in this condition, we know it's like a kind of a racetrack. The start is super important to get in front in the first cross. American Magic did a great job on being in front and the huge slingshot after the start. For us, the doors are not really open in these conditions, so it's just a matter of trying to stay as close as possible and wait for a possible mistake.
The start, Sabello, is so important, isn't it? Particularly when the conditions are like this. Where do you think the error was? What happened?
You know, I think American Magic did a good job on just reducing the gauge between the boats and having a good acceleration for us. By trying to accelerate more, we had to come down and be too close to them. So I think was that just the difference, and after we had to tack out, they had for sure a better tack and they could control after the first cross. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, the team is working really hard every day, a huge effort to improve. We'll keep going and do the same for tomorrow.
Thanks for your thoughts, Petro. I'll let you get back to it.
Thanks.
Pedro Sabello, one of the coaches, and every team has a coach just trying to push these teams to the limit to get optimum performance, and that's something that's happened over the last couple of days. Let's not forget about the cyclors.
Let's talk about the drivers on Alinghi Red Bull Racing. We just saw a lovely shot of Max Sebastian. He's only 26. He was a 49er sailor. He's a paramedic. He'd kind of given up on sailing, and then this opportunity came along. And I have actually sailed with him myself, and they're phenomenal talent. You know instantly. He just had a great feel for the boat.
Already getting header. Yes,
these guys, so you can see the circulating air there inside the cockpit on their shirts. You know, they're travelling at huge speed going upwind here in these really light air conditions, and mixture of sunglasses and goggles. Goggles not necessarily needed on a beautiful day such as today, but certainly some eye protection is recommended.
It is by and large a young team, though, Glenn, isn't it? I mean, they've had a lot to learn in a short period of time.
They certainly have, and you know, that depth of experience that really is right the way through Alinghi Red Bull Racing. You know, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that can point them in the right direction, and you know, as a group, they've done a wonderful job to get to where they have. They're going to be a powerful force moving forwards.
Down here in 3, 2, 1, down.
You see the wind field here, Shirley. It's you know, up and down. Those sort of different colours basically representing around sort of 2 to 4 knots of pressure. The green, or the darker green, about 4 knots more than the sort of darker blue. So puffs and lulls coming across the course, but hard to tack and take the advantage of each of those puffs and lulls, because you're losing about 7 to 8 knots of boat speed every time you tack. So you really have to tack on something big. So being a smooth course, you're pretty much boundary bouncing at the moment.
Let's go to Chase Zero. Pete, what are you seeing?
So boats now just attacking on starboard ley line, but 1 knot of increase of wind speed equates to 5 degrees of wind angle in terms of wind shift. That's how high performance these boats are.
5 left turn at the top. 1 more tack. More pressure coming downwind.
Just look at the backdrop. How good is this? That's how close you are to watching it from the beach. Barceloneta beach was the main beach in Barcelona. Many other beaches going up, and they love the beaches. I was biking to work this morning, and they're on the beach playing volleyball at 7:30 in the morning. How good is that? As we see American Magic coming in to complete their penultimate leg on this first race of the day. Race number 5. And they take the right-hand mark as you see it on the television screen. Head down on the final leg. American Magic sailing it beautifully today in the opening race of the day.
25 seconds.
And they have really stretched out this lead.
He comes this way.
Yeah, they're sailing the boat well. There's no question about that. Both teams, in actual fact, you know, sailing the boat pretty cleanly in these conditions, as expected. And great shots of Alinghi Red Bull Racing coming into the top there.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing coming into the top mark for the final time. That lead is certainly stretched out, made by American Magic sailing their beautiful boat Patriot Day, 46 seconds. It's really pumped it up. But again, both these teams sailing well today. It's just, I suppose, comes down to that one thing about if you want to win the America's Cup, you've got to have the fastest boat.
don't need no pressure anymore.
Yeah, certainly boat speed helps, but also linking up the dot to dot. Surely on the downwind there, you can see the puffs and lulls, and all the teams as they're sailing downwind will be, looking forwards, sailing into the pressure on the downwind, and it's a big game of dot to dot at the end of the day.
I think this race will be a confidence builder for American Magic. I mean, they executed a great start. There wasn't really any doubt that they were going to win that start, and have just made clean, clinical decision-making ever since. They also look like they've got the edge. They have got a bit of extra pace, both upwind and downwind, and we see the distance growing and growing as this race goes on.
Fantastic shots of the foils there.
Over the next 10.
Stainless steel, knife blades carving up the waters off Barcelona. It's absolutely fantastic shots there from the heli choppers up there. Don't get to see that view very often. That's pretty epic.
What are the loads on that bit of steel?
It's basically taking the full load of the yacht, about 7,000 kilograms or 7 tons of load going through a fairly small foil, so pretty impressive.
Do you like the efficiency of that foil? Do you like what you see on that foil?
Certainly got a nice package, American Magic, and I think all teams will be scoping out what each of their opponents is using and stand by for some changes over the next couple of weeks. It's going to be an exciting period.
How much can we expect to see? What level of changes and evolution will we see during the summer?
Well, as long as I don't see Stephen McIver and his speedos on the beach, I'll be very happy. But other than that, there'll be some nice sights for sure.
Just want to go and set up.
Wow.
Right down here when we're done.
That will not be an evolution that you will ever see in your lifetime.
I'm pleased to hear that, mate. Keep your board shorts on, at least.
American Magic will cross the line with a confident win in race 5 of the Louis Vuitton preliminary regatta here in Barcelona. They've done good. They'll be happy with that. We'll get some reaction on board shortly. That was sweet as a nut.
Really solid lap. Yeah, boys.
Nice job.
As Shirley Robertson quite rightly said, confidence is one thing, even at this early stage of the regattas, that every team is looking forward.
Yeah.
And considering, 2 days ago they put that Patriot into the water, then pulled out of the race just to check it all over, and then came back yesterday and they picked up a win. They've got a perfect record so far now, American Magic, in this preliminary regatta. They are 2-0. Remember, the top 2 teams at the end of the weekend, they will race off in a single match race final. And American Magic are laying their cards on the table. Alinghi Red Bull Racing, 1 win, 1 loss so far in this preliminary regatta. But a clean race. What more can you ask for? But learn, learn, learn.
Nice push on the breaker.
So there is the result of race number 5, a 56-second win to American Magic against Alinghi Red Bull Racing. 2-0 the Americans, 1-1 Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
Well, with an impressive calmness, American Magic dominated the pre-start. Alinghi Red Bull Racing tried to go for the push, but way too late, and American Magic really dominated that start. And by gate 1, with a clinical first beat, tack for tack all the way, making all the right decisions, American Magic led round the top line. And from there, they didn't really put a foot wrong, Glenn, did they? And the number, the delta just kept on growing between these 2 yachts. Beautifully sailed by American Magic. Great maneuvers, good decision-making.
Coming down to the finish
won
there.
In the end by quite a long way. A real confidence grower, I think, this race. Terry Hutchinson with a fist bump there. They look pretty chuffed.
Smiles all round on the chase boat. Probably smiles also on board American Magic. One of the helms, Paul Goodison, joins us right now. Hey, Paul, that was a clean race, and that start was a ripper.
No, it was really good to get off the line in such good shape. The guys did a really good job getting us in position. Really nice launch, and then we did a good job of controlling the race from there. So really pleased with the performance that last race.
Goody, it's Glenn here. The boys behind you in the recumbent cycling positions, mate, they look like they're absolutely going hammers around those top marks and bottom marks. Mate, without them, you guys would be in all sorts of trouble.
No, they guys back in first class in the back there, laying down, enjoying themselves. But when they need to put the power in, they hammer it. You can hear the grunts coming from behind you. They do put some awesome power down to help us do what we need to do.
Thanks for your time, Paul. You're 2-0 unbeaten so far. We'll talk to you at the end of the day. Let's go aboard Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Arno, you've got to win the start, hey, when you've got a team like that you're up against.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we all know that you come off the start line leading. It's halfway done, and yeah, we didn't really manage to do that slingshot like yesterday, but then we tried to fight all the way, but American Magic kind of closed all the doors, so we just really focused on try to sail our boat as fast as possible, and then just wait for a mistake. But I think it was good training, and you cannot win all the races.
All right, appreciate the time, man. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, thank you very much.
Just the one race today for Alinghi Red Bull Racing, 1-1 so far in this preliminary regatta.
Well, this is the key moment that went on throughout the race. Tack on tack, jibe on jibe. The race was a multiple of massive manoeuvres, each one critical in terms of holding on to the lead. An impressive work not just for the helm and trimmers, but for the cyclists.
Here are the numbers from race number 5 today. Check on your maximum speeds, your average speeds, your upwind speeds. We all love looking at the downward speed, don't we, Glenn?
We do. I think the average speed there of 36.4 for American Magic and 35.3, you know, that's, I think, just a little bit of the dirty air that Alinghi Red Bull Racing were having to sail through. Manoeuvres pretty similar there from both teams. Just, you know, one more manoeuvre, one more tack, one more jibe for Alinghi Red Bull Racing, and you know, at the end of the day, those manoeuvres cost in these conditions.
That's racing. On March the 2nd, 2003, Switzerland became the first European country to win the America's Cup. They also became the first team to win the Cup on debut. Now, after a 20-year hiatus, they've teamed up with the champions of extreme sport, Red Bull. They're ambitious, determined, fearless, and set to become a formidable player in the quest for Cup glory.
Alinghi did first compete in the America's Cup back in 2002. We won 5-1 the Louis Vuitton and qualify to race the match against the Team New Zealand team.
The Alinghi Swiss Challenge wins America's Cup 2003, beating defender Team New Zealand 5-0. Sailing's biggest prize has a new home, Switzerland.
Switzerland is well known for, you know, chocolates, for bank or watchmaker, but Switzerland was not very well known for the sailing skills. Beating the Team New Zealand and most of the sailing nation was an amazing achievement for Switzerland.
America's Cup 2007, Valencia, Spain. And coming in from the port hand, it is the defender Alinghi.
We had a really hard-fought regatta, which ended with us being successful.
Alinghi have done it, and the America's Cup stays in Europe.
The fact that Alinghi won this cup really inspired the kids in Switzerland to start sailing, but also to believe, as a Swiss sailor coming from lakes, we can achieve great things in sailing. That's a bit how I felt it, how my generation felt.
In 2010, the 33rd America's Cup was contested in a hostile deed of gift match between Alinghi and Oracle.
Well, in 2010 we lost, this match between two huge multi-hulls. As far as the sport was concerned, it was just a waste of time and money.
After 2.5 years of controversy and litigation, the America's Cup is America's again!
Alinghi stopped sailing in the America's Cup in 2010, but they did not stop sailing as a sailing team. The will of performing and staying in the highest level to the top of the sailing technology.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing is a new team formed for the 37 America's Cup, made by Alinghi and Red Bull, is nowadays one of the most successful brands in sport. And yes, there is a large part of history on the Alinghi side specific to the America's Cup. And there is a huge part of history in sports by Red Bull. So there is a big pedigree in our name by itself.
Well, I guess Ernesto is he's a passionate sailor, and so he loves the foiling aspect to it, he loves the technology part of it, and I think that's what dragged him back into it. I told him it was a silly idea, but he said, no, we're going to do it.
Race 6, official challenger of record, Defender.
Ineos Britannia, led and driven by the sport's most successful Olympic sailor of all time, Ben Ainsley. In the off-site hot seat, Olympic gold skiff medalist and Cup newbie Dylan Fletcher, and keeping the boat at pace, trimmers McMillan and Mon. And with a power bank built on the might of British rowing, it is led by Luke Parkinson, Hunter, and Olympic rowers Rossiter and Olympic gold medalist rower Matt Gottrell.
Current defenders of the America's Cup, Emirates Team New Zealand, ready to get back out on the water again today. The team consisting of Peter Burling, Nathan Outridge, Andy Maloney and Blair Tuke in the afterguard. Powering the pumps today, Louis Crosby, Hamish Bond, Marius van der Poel and Dougal Allen, providing the horsepower needed for the AC75 sail plan.
And there are your helms. Ben Ainsley, Dylan Fletcher, left and right, down the bottom left, Peter Burling, Nathan Outridge, and Emirates Team New Zealand, the defender. Emirates Team New Zealand will be desperate for a real race today after the only race they had yesterday. Bruno Rossa, Prada Pirelli had a systems failure, and they were in many ways simply just gifted the 1 point. And I know they would rather have been racing and finding out more about the opposition. It'll be port entry for Ineos Britannia, 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and 2 minutes for the defender Emirates Team New Zealand. Race number 6. What can we expect?
Yeah, stand by for some good action here. Both these teams, no stranger to match racing, so going to be some fireworks.
3, 2, 1. Should be sweet, just watch you don't gain on it.
Rotation in here, Lammy. Coming up.
Solid entry by Ineos Britannia there.
I think all the way across here. Angle for now. Hey, just flat boat.
That's right.
In comes Emirates Team New Zealand at pace.
Not far off a piece here.
2, 1, coming up.
All the way, come on.
Hey, going good now.
Stay with it. 20 seconds.
Moving.
Going into a circle.
1.
All the way around.
8. Moving. Holding board.
Copy. Anything shape.
Way round.
Copy.
Up. Hang on, cover that high mode here.
90.
And down if we can.
I will.
Nice and smooth it. Holding the board here. What's that?
They're just trying to live above us.
Let the speed come.
I don't can.
Hey, 2, 1, going board. Like they're going up into zone 1. Hey, big main on here, lads.
I think bigger left is
20. Via there.
Possible chances on me them here.
15.
Working away.
Down sides.
Okay, let's go. Come down if you can. Try to jump them into it. Working
7.
Yep. Go, going down. Yeah, jumping here. Coming left. No. 2, 1, 4, 10. I will. Okay. Here or here?
Let's go.
I will.
2, 1, going board.
Okay, 25.
Emirates Team New Zealand right in the dirty air there of Ineos Britannia as they come in toward the start here with 45 to go.
Still a lot of time to go, 43 seconds. Need to do something.
Not killing them much. Take tack with us. Forward down. 2, 1, 3.
The Emirates Team New Zealand will match here and try and lock Ineos Britannia to windward here. They're slow off the foils. Big trouble for Ineos Britannia here. Expect a huge lead from Emirates Team New Zealand here. Ineos Britannia absolutely parked there. Time on distance for Emirates Team New Zealand.
Inside the last 10 seconds to start race number 6 of the Louis Vuitton preliminary regatta, and it appears advantage Emirates Team New Zealand, the defender of the 37th America's Cup, and they are away, and Ineos Britannia is in a bit of bother.
Beautifully executed pre-start there, Emirates Team New Zealand. Ineos Britannia possibly trying to do too much in the pre-start and just got themselves just too slow in these conditions and off the foils.
We could hear in the comms they jibed inside, and Ben was a bit surprised. I mean, I just don't think they followed the game plan.
Go, mate. Back close, Wiz. Yep. My trap here. My trap. Breeze is in the left. 8 is 80. Try and focus on seeing if we can minimise the loss. Yep. Getting past intersection in 10 seconds here. Final matrix.
Just looking at a replay here of the start, Emirates Team New Zealand doing a really nice job of just spearing the boat inside nice and smoothly. Ineos Britannia just down speed a little bit low on the ride height, picking up a lot of drag off the foils and ultimately dropping off into displacement mode.
No space to come down and accelerate. They were just completely chicken winged up there.
It was a tight turn, and that inside foil just not enough hydrodynamic speed over it to lift the boat out of the water.
Let's go on to chase zero with Peter Lester. A start maybe where pressure applied by Emirates Team New Zealand paid off, Pete.
Yeah, I thought Ineos got a bit chicken winged up, but also I think what we saw there from Emirates Team New Zealand is how manoeuvrable they are, and how at low speed they can keep the boat elevated above the water. And that's the first time I've seen the New Zealand really optimise their manoeuvrability advantage that they seem to have, and also their placement in terms of that pre-start build-up was impeccable. That was really a bit of a sailing lesson there by Burling and Nathan Outridge.
15 or 20, so if this goes right anymore, I'd be pretty keen to tank over this lead line.
That's 200.
Might as well wait for them, yeah, right?
Agreed. Don't give them leverage.
Open course, I've probably already gone, but all good.
No, they're still clear.
Understood. I don't want to wait all the way, it's just come back.
I remember at the Cup in Auckland discussing how good Emirates Team New Zealand were at match racing, that they had some flaws. It was a weakness in their armoury. But just seeing that level of execution against the British boat, that's quite something else.
I want to be on the beach.
In your Speedos?
No, I want to be on the beach looking at these magnificent boats fly. That's a natural grandstand you cannot buy, and we're here in Barcelona for the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. It does not get too much better.
Nice riding.
Glenn, you're used to sitting on that boat with Pete and Blair and Andy Maloney. I mean, what do you think of that execution and that start and how they're sailing today?
Yeah, look, that was a really nice job by the guys, and I think, you know, these boats now being, you know, lighter than they were previously, longer span foils, you just get so much more glide in the pre-start than you used to do in the last America's Cup. So really, you know, all the factors go into your design and what you can actually do with it, and as a sailing team you need to then be able to learn how to use what tools you've got, and I think we saw there fairly clearly, you know, Emirates Team New Zealand doing a nice job of just coasting up underneath Ineos Britannia there.
A magnificent view of the boat. His name's Tohoro, going through attack and just racing into the top mark for the first time in the battle against the official challenger of record. And it will be Emirates Team New Zealand going around the top mark for the first time. And I hate to use this word over and over again, but they are doing it confidently.
Hold on, Karen. Counting job for me.
Nice right phase.
Not a lot of breeze there, and 84 kilometres an hour top speed in the Bearaway. It's it just shows you how efficient the boats are in this lighter air.
Maybe going a little wider just here, but get her on the power still. Everything all the way.
Ineos Britannia fine to go around 38 seconds behind. It all comes down to the start, but we know these boats are fast, but one fast boat, another fast boat. These errors, unforced errors or pressure put on, are going to cost teams massively in this cup.
Leading down slow. We're holding this tempo. Nice. I can do it.
Just having a look at the ghost boat options here, Shirley, for Ineos Britannia. Have they got anything that the simulator's saying? No, there's not. It's such a smooth, even day, even course wind. There's really not a lot of options there. The start just being so critical to get off the line well.
You might get a header as we go here.
It's coming nice.
We know that Emirates Team New Zealand spent the hour before their start practicing almost against a ghost boat, just really refining those pre-start techniques and timings, and really they were ready to go.
Absolutely, it's all about getting comfortable with the conditions and dialing the boat in and dialing your eyeballs in as well, and they obviously did a good job of that in the pre-start with the coaching team and the wider team to dial everything in for the conditions.
If you're Ben and his team, you have to get the maximum out of this race, don't you? You have to really concentrate on pace and try and get as much information as you can.
Let's go on to chase zero. Pete, this is a nice lesson being learned, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's some takeaways from this one. For me, manoeuvrability of New Zealanders. And at that top mark, that 37 seconds, that equates to 33 boat lengths that they're ahead at Mark 1. It'll be interesting to monitor that delta as they go around the course, but that first beat was impressive, and they capitalised on that beautiful pre-start, the New Zealanders. For Ineos, they'll just want to now try and minimise the loss and see if they can match the New Zealanders boat on boat for speed.
Emirates Team New Zealand heading towards the bottom mark for the first time, and they're in control of this race number 6 of the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta. We'll talk about sweet spots in just a moment, because I'm keen to understand from Glenn and Shirley where a boat finds its sweet spot is what you called even wind, Glenn. So we'll take Emirates Team New Zealand around the bottom to complete leg number 2 of race number 6. Doing it comfortably. So how do you find a sweet spot in the boat when it comes to wind?
It's a matter of making sure you've got the right sails up, number 1, and also the right settings on the boat. Huge amount of settings and adjustability that the guys can do, both on board the boat and also getting set up from the chase boat and on shore. So making sure you've got it dialed in is really important.
Ineos Britannia about to complete leg number 2. Delta's come down somewhat because they're really honking it downwind, and the speed is a lot quicker downwind as the starboard board goes up, and they start leg number 3.
Stay level second. My trap. Your trap lads can get past the intersection.
I thought the downwind performance was actually pretty solid there from Ineos Britannia. It looked like they were sailing the boat well, and the pace was good. So I think just not getting off the start lines just really hurt them there.
Push the boundary, 20 seconds. Okay, 15 seconds. Breeze is still mean. Still increase in 5. Stand by here. 2, 1. Board down. 2, 1. Made. Turning. I will. 2, 1. Down board. Up back. On. Look at the skinny one. Funky breeze here at the moment. Tempo. 27s. He's coming.
Let's go to one of the chase boats. This time it's the chase boat of Emirates Team New Zealand. Coach Ray Davies joins us right now. Ray, great start, and the payoff's huge.
Oh yeah, great start, fantastic start. The boys are tracing really well, really pleasing to see. Huge amount of effort from Sam and JJ, practicing in the sim beforehand, and great to see a plan come together.
The importance of that sim, Ray, when we're talking about, you know, computers to the real thing, how much advantage is it giving all the teams?
It's just the level you have to be playing at these days. It's just technology's moved on, and all teams have simulators. I'm sure all teams are gaming before the day and practicing, and we're trying really hard to give our sailors enough capacity to be able to practice and get in the zone and be tuned in for the conditions. And no, it's really, really pleasing as a coach to see the guys match racing so well.
Ray, how surprised were you about how dominant they were over the British team?
Look, it's really hard when someone gets the upper hand. Obviously, the team has the capability of manoeuvring the boat really, really well and accelerating really well. So we feel we can throw the boat around and keep control. And if you're on the back foot, you're seriously on the back foot in these boats. And no, look, Ineos tried to do a little double tack there and obviously try to start separated to windward, and we're able to match and keep the pressure on and give them a bit of gas. Yeah, it's pretty brutal with an advantage like that.
Something else to enjoy. I always appreciate time. Harder questions coming as the regatta moves on.
Thank you. No worries.
If you are watching the America's Cup class yacht for the first time, it is something to behold when you see a rudder and a foil in the water and some 7-ton boat flying along at 40+ knots. But it defies physics as far as I'm concerned, but boy, it is a special moment.
So the defenders obviously race in this event and then race again. They join in the round robin, and then we don't see them for a while. I mean, Glenn, for them, how important is it to really dominate this?
Emirates Team New Zealand coming into round the top gate to complete the halfway stage of race number 6 here in the Louis Vuitton preliminary regatta. It looks like comfortable race around the course for the defenders.
The guys just cruising around at the moment. Not a lot of stuff here. Could possibly be a little intersection here as they're going upwind, but they won't get themselves too chicken winged up there.
Just try and keep it
very, very smooth sailing conditions here. Really, really a drag race downwind here, and pretty easy to sail the boats in these conditions.
You sometimes have to ask the question when you're beaten at the punch at the start line, how deflating it is for the rest of the race, that you know potentially you've been outwitted at the critical point, the start of the race. But we'll talk about that in just a moment. We'll get Ineos Britannia around that top mark as they will complete the halfway mark of race number 6 here in Barcelona.
100, hit it please. 20, 30, slow to 10. Okay, my trap.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, lengthening the course to 1.9 nautical miles.
Okay, 20 seconds this way. Lifters, averages, stand by.
See the puffs and the lulls there on the course from the Capgemini wind field. Lots of dot-to-dots there. You can see Emirates Team New Zealand just on the edge of a puff there. You should see them increase their boat speed a little as they sail into that puff. Not a really nice lane there, unfortunately, for Ineos Britannia, having to transition a few quite big lulls there. So you can see the deficit in speeds just in those lighter winds. You're really looking for the darker pressure on the water to accelerate. Fantastic shot there of the Cyclors. Marius van der Poel, Dougal Allen, Louis Crosby and Hamish Bond on the pumps. And just see some of the screens down there in the cockpit of what the guys will be looking at. They'll be looking at the hydraulic system there, making sure they're in the right gears. Nath having a little geese over the back there at where the English geezers are. I probably should say that, but our English mates, the British, they'll have a good chuckle at that. really it is a drag race once you don't get off the start line, and such a difficult one there, and not much they can do at the moment except for follow the Kiwis.
You know, we talk about the cyclists, there's many great stories. You look at Hamish Bond, right? Double Olympic gold medalist like our very own Shirley Robertson, then decides to get off a rowing boat, hop onto a cycling when it goes with a Commonwealth Games medal as well on the Gold Coast. And then suddenly says, I'm not done with yet. I like the hurt locker. I want to be a cyclor. Man's a beggar for punishment.
And it is a massive hurt locker. It is hot. It is airless. It is full on for those guys.
Yeah, it's only a little bit more than us.
Emirates Team New Zealand about to head up for the penultimate leg of race number 6. They've already got a win yesterday, but they really wanted to test today to again just look at where they are as a race team and see what the opposition is like, particularly the official challenger of record in Ineos Britannia. They'll come in at just under 42 knots and round the bottom mark for the last time and head up on leg number 5.
It's still left here, so all the way. Nice, you got maybe a bit of a slight high mode here for
Yeah, this will feel like the never-ending race for the British here. Unfortunately, Shirley, there's really not a lot they can do. Just having to chew a bit of dirty air on that first upwind after that start. There's just not a lot of options with such a steady day here today.
I spoke to Ben Ainsley last night. He was concerned about pace. I mean, this will not be helping.
Even at the bottom of it here. You're probably into an early tag. Copy.
Yeah, the line he used, Shirley, with us was exactly what you were talking about. We need to find more horsepower. Well, you better find some major horsepower after this one. It's a long way to go, though, so we shouldn't be doubting Thomas's to say as much. A 51-second delta. Peter, what do you make of what Ineos Britannia's up to at the moment?
Well, they're looking up the track saying, my goodness, those guys have got serious pace, and I think New Zealand are right in the range of wind conditions that the boat just is loving it. Just in terms of the lead bleed for Ineos, at the first mark rounding, they were 37 seconds behind Emirates Team New Zealand. The last time at the top mark, it was out to, 52 seconds. So it looks like New Zealand are quicker upwind, and downwind, Ineos can match the New Zealanders on the downwind leg, but all the damage is being done going up on the upwind legs, and of course there are 3 of them, and New Zealand are averaging out something like 20 seconds advantage each upwind leg.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate the time. Let's go on to the chase spot for Ineos Britannia there. Coach Rob Wilson joins us right now. Got to go right back to the start, Rob. That must have been a head shaker for you.
Yeah, it was a real tough one. Frustrating. You know, the guys are putting together a lot of manoeuvres just to try and get the advantage on the starboard side for that one. But obviously just didn't have quite enough speed for that last tack and caused a crash down.
Rob, we spoke to Ben last night and he was slightly concerned about pace. I mean, what are you taking from this race relative to horsepower?
Yeah, you know, there's definitely, we need to find a little bit more speed. We've got a few ideas where we can make some tweaks, which will certainly take us in the right direction. You know, and we're not far off, but we've got to get a little bit more, that's for sure.
Thanks for your time, Rob. I'll let you get back to it.
Thank you.
So even the coach knows that they made a boo-boo at the start.
Yeah, great shot of the spray deflectors there on the vertical upstand of the foils as we're watching the boat sail upwind here, and about 11 to 12 knots at the moment.
Okay. Nice increase here. Been taken slightly.
20 to ley line.
Yeah, go all the way to it. I'll just walk out a little late almost. Yeah, exactly.
Part of the fun of the America's Cup, Glenn, and you'll know this, you've been in the Cup as a defender and a challenger, is seeing the progress, race on race, week on week. That is part of it, isn't it?
It certainly is. It's a continual development process, and you have to absolutely manage the risk as you go forwards, but you absolutely need to keep developing, and that's absolutely the name of the game of what all these teams will be doing at the moment. It'll be a consistent development right the way through this regatta series.
what you're thinking here?
I was thinking right turn, but
I think we'll get to it.
yeah, you should easy delay. That's right phase at the moment, so I think it'll put you in phase at the beginning of the run.
When look down the boundary.
Really even.
Emirates Team in New Zealand head to the top mark for the last time in race number 6. Remember, we'll see them again in race number 8 against Orient Express Racing. They have a 2-race day today. But this looks good to give them a perfect record, like American Magic, who are up next against Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
About the same place again. Might just go here.
Happy to jump?
Hold, we get around. Sorry, there's 10. I would have made it, but didn't see worth it.
Looks like we've got good stuff down. You're getting soft now.
Soft still.
20 seconds to
Better stop the patch here.
Slightly high mode here.
Try and get ahead whilst you can.
At the moment.
Okay, patch increase in 10.
And they need you after the land here. Let's be on this mark.
Copy it.
Hanging up. Yeah, we're late.
There we go.
Picking up now. I will.
Hey, my trap.
And they're up. Fucking away in 5. And set. Going 3.
Ineos Britannia, they too now round the top mark for the final time and head down on that downwind leg for leg number 6 and head home for the finish with lots of questions to be asked again.
Hold it. In course. Right. Let's go. Maybe a little lefty here. Let's go to boundary here, Ben. Pop it. 20 to boundary. Hold it all the way. 20 seconds.
The voice we're hearing is of Dylan Fletcher. He is port helm. And actually, interesting fact, in the Tokyo Olympics, he just beat Peter Blair from New Zealand for the gold medal. It was right at the finish. So he may be new to the cup, but he's not new to racing at the highest level against these guys.
And this is a head game too. So much of the elite sport, they use the 80% mental, 20% talent when it comes down to it. Because sometimes, well, you know, Shirley, you're an elite athlete. You won 2 gold medals. How much of it was about 80% being mentally tough?
Well, you got to tick all the boxes, Stephen.
That was a compliment coming your way, Shirley. You just.
Yeah, luck doesn't play much of a part in winning a gold medal, that's for sure. Well, in some sports it does, but certainly not sailing.
Yeah, Dylan Fletcher is a real talent, a real racer, you know, a competitor, and he has so wanted that spot. He looked at the trajectory, at the career path of Pete Burlick and Nathan Outridge. They'd won the Moth Worlds, they'd won a gold medal in the 49er, and he followed that, and here he is.
Very close to lay.
Yep, the harder you work, the luckier you get. So success comes from a lot of hard work, especially here in the America's Cup. It's a huge team effort across the board there, and all the teams working extremely hard. It's not just about the helmsman, it's not just about the trimmers or the cyclors, it's about the whole team, and it's a package deal. And this boat here, I know what is behind the scenes at Emirates Team New Zealand, and it certainly is a package deal with a lot of fantastic people there, all working hard as all the teams are.
Emirates Team New Zealand will go 2-0 like American Magic, and the perfect record to this point of the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta, and they complete race 6 and they do it comfortably. Big play at the start, stuffed Ineos Britannia, and they've taken the win. 2-0, perfect record for the defender.
They were pretty close.
Yeah.
I'm sure they should be doing that.
He was motoring forward quite fast, eh?
I think they thought you were going to hold straight out of the jump. Oh, nice job, guys.
How come they went back to restart? Is that how it was? We can nail get one border.
Just apologies for some of the colourful language coming out of the cockpit of Emirates Team New Zealand.
Taking a little bit more depth here. Yeah. Here we go, 5 seconds.
And Ineos Britannia, more questions will be asked. Yesterday, Subinese talked about needing more horsepower.
2, 1, turning up.
We'll see and try and get a reaction from him after the race, or at least maybe Dylan Fletcher. And they finished 52 seconds behind. Picked up some time downwind, but it's 2-0 for the defender, 0-2 for the challenger of record.
Just try that stuff. Yeah, let's do it now. Yeah, 100%.
Confirmation of the official result of race number 6, and it's Emirates Team New Zealand, the defender, 23 minutes and 8 seconds around the course, with the solid win against Ineos Britannia.
Just having a look at the pre-start here. This is really where the whole race was really dictated, and we just saw Ineos Britannia, a really tight turn there, just losing flow on the inside board there and coming off the foils. Pretty much from there it was just a pedal to the metal drag race for Emirates Team New Zealand. Managed to stay on the foils, and it was just time on distance to the start, and away they went. Basically, gate 4, Emirates Team New Zealand, pretty much just having to sail the boat cleanly from here. Not a lot of options for Ineos Britannia to make up the ground that they actually lost at the start line. Finish was pretty much just a coast through the line, 2 boards down, and hydrogen chase boat there getting a nice view out the window of an AC-75 as they rounded the mark.
So it will be a happy camp at Emirates Team New Zealand. Let's go on board with Peter Burling. Pete, you've got to be pumped with the way that start went.
Yeah, it's always nice to get off the line well, and thought we were going to be in for a good battle around the racetrack, but it's always nice to mix it up in the pre-starts. We all know how important they are, and it's great to be able to take that opportunity and really shut the race down.
Pete, we saw you practicing those pre-starts before kickoff. You know, how much is that a priority in this regatta for your team?
I mean, everything's a priority. You know, I think if you get an even start, you've got to be able to sail the boat fast and tack well, and if you're behind, you've got to be able to do that as well. But it definitely makes your life a lot easier if you get a good one.
Thanks for your time, Pete. Leave you alone. You've got another race against the French coming up.
Thanks, guys.
Let's go on board Ineos Britannia. Ben Ainsley joins us right now. Ben, does the word frustration ring true about that race?
Yeah, it was another tough one. Obviously, all happened in the start. We tried something a little bit different and didn't work out for us. But, you know, it's probably better to try it now and learn a few things than next week.
Ben, it's Glenn here. You're obviously throwing the boat around really comfortably there. Just a little unlucky with that sort of inside foil, just getting a little slow and coming off. But you're certainly throwing the boat around, so that's a good sign for things to come power-wise.
Yeah, I think so. The guys work really hard on the training. The cyclists to be able to power the boat up for all these manoeuvres. They do a great job for us. And it will be interesting to see what the deltas were around the course. The difference in headsel choice. A few other little bits and bobs to analyse and see how we're going against one of the top teams.
Nice, mate.
And Ben, just quickly, new partnership with Dylan Fletcher. I mean, it does not get harder, does it, working together in the pre-start like that? You know, how tough is it?
Oh, yeah, it's you know, it's a challenge. These pre-starts, we're up against the best guys out there, and you know, we're practicing, we're trying different things. The comms with Dylan are going really well. He's doing a fantastic job for the team. So yeah, we'll be all right. We'll take a lot from that. We'll go away, have a bit of a huddle with Ian Williams, our start coach, and come back fighting.
Thanks for your time, Ben.
Thanks.
Oh, it's worth another look at this start, isn't it? I mean, New Zealand was hunting for the hook. GBR tried to defend, tried to escape, but then they just knew they just couldn't run away. They needed to stay near to the start line. Burling and his team had GBR on the back foot and truly punished them. A pretty hard lesson and how much the start and split-second decisions really count. Nice work, New Zealand.
So coming up next, it's American Magic, and the New York Yacht Club has a long and rich America's Cup history. For 132 years, guardians of the America's Cup, the longest winning run in sporting history. But it came to an end in 1983 when Australia won the Cup and took it down under. Now they're back, and they've charged the team at American Magic with the task of reclaiming sailing's holy grail.
The New York Yacht Club was the first trustee of the America's Cup, won back in 1851 and lost in 1983.
The whole history of the America's Cup is so intertwined with the New York Yacht Club. Being a part of that history is really special. It's really exciting. This is only the second campaign for American Magic, so we're trying to build upon that historical piece that the Yacht Club brings with a newer team.
America was the first boat to win the America's Cup, and Magic was the first boat to defend the America's Cup. And so when we were deciding on what to call the team, Hap said, I think we should call it American Magic, and here's why. And it stuck. For me, it's evolved. At first, it was the historical side. And then, when you reflect back on our trajectory in AC36, there was magic that was created out of catastrophe. We have not chosen an easy path, particularly because one moment defined America's Cup 36 for us. While it wasn't pretty, we didn't let the moment beat us. 4 years later, you can think about it in a slightly different lens, but it's definitely with you. When I contemplate AC37 and I look at the incredible work being done, for us and for me personally, the name has definitely evolved into we're representing our country, and the people inside of our team is really what creates the magic.
I christen thee Patriot.
There's a lot of unfinished business within the team, a lot of people that feel like there were some things that were left undone that want to be finished off properly and come back and get a second chance at making a real good go at the show. It is a hard thing to come out and win, and it takes a bit of time and a bit of learning.
I think the team learned some really valuable lessons in Auckland. And it's not just the lessons that we learn, but also understanding where other teams got decisions right and where other teams made, I guess, the wrong decisions.
Oh, he's going to capsize.
You see and you feel it, I think, every day. It's just a sense of purpose. We've been through something really tough together, and we're going to develop the character that we have as a team going forward.
Can American Magic win the America's Cup? Absolutely. The magic will come from the people inside of our four walls. And as a competitor, if it's within yourself and it's within the people that you have to execute, you couldn't ask for a better situation.
Race 7 on its way. American Magic, Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli.
As we just saw, this team are laser focused in getting the old mug back into 44th Street. Driving, Slingsby and Goodison, trimming and piloting duties are all Campbell and Menninger's department, and delivering all the wattage they need to win. Fresh legs for this race. Head down and clipping in is former swimmer Hall, skip sailor Bird, and rowing machines Cedar and Molitor.
And we have the highly polished team of Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli with their shiny boat. Leading the charge on the handlebars is Francesco Bruni and Jimmy Spithill, with trimmers Umberto Molinari and Andrea Tezzi. Enrico Voltolini leads the cycling team. Cesar Garbia, Emmanuel Luizzi and Luca Kerwin in his first America's Cup here at AC37.
There are your helming teams. Tom Slingsby, Paul Goodison, left and right. Bottom, Jimmy Spittle and Francesco Bruni. Ready to port entry with 2 minutes and 10 will be American Magic. 2 minutes it will be Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. We've already seen an example of how if you can win the start, really stuff the opposition, you can really hurt them. That was a good example in that last race with Emirates Team New Zealand against Ineos Britannia. American Magic with a 2-0 record. Just the 1 win, 1 loss for Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli in this Louis Vuitton preliminary regatta.
Really nice entry there, right on time, American Magic.
coming in from port. Little touchdown there. That's going to wash off a bit of pace. That was a little error there on their behalf.
Tight to get across here.
Okay, 2, 1, 4 down.
Swing and reverse. One time on the wall.
Hey, stay on 2 on 4.
Stay on 2 board is fine for me at the moment.
Okay, turning here in 2, 1, turning.
It's quite high compared to us, so no problem. Not rate of jump at the moment.
Green is 25, green is 40.
There's not much space on this right-hand side, Glenn. You're going to keep manoeuvring, keep turning.
We do right into the boundary there. Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli using all of the runway there to milk that boundary. They will be now forcing the decision onto American Magic as to whether to tack or jibe here to try and gain control.
They turn up on you guys.
American Magic choosing to tack. Just get a bit of distance between them and the opposition.
Okay, 16. Very slow.
Yeah, he's on boat there. There's a good chance they're going to be able to kill that.
Yeah, copy. I think we can get a push here if you want, if you come all the way down on 2.
Yeah. Coming down here. Routine boat.
And keep coming.
Tom Slingsby going for the attack.
Main boat. Okay, almost ready. Turning up here. Midline.
Hey, he's up.
Copy. Good line. Happy to go over. Help if you can.
Yeah, American Magic there, having to sail high and slow. Luna Rossa doing a great job of controlling there.
Probably going to be a dip start here, guys. Might try to keep us off.
Fantastic job, Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli gaining control there.
Gonna have to come all the way down.
Racing.
Good start by Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli on American Magic.
Dip start there on American Magic, so having to dip and actually get behind the line. You are allowed to cross the windward end of the start line, but you have to get behind the line.
Race 7, Louis Vuitton preliminary regatta underway, and the Italians have the early advantage.
Well, hopefully we will see that again, but beautiful job by Jimmy Spittle. Pushed them over and they couldn't make it onto the start line.
Brilliant job of forcing them out of the starting area. That is classic Luna Rossa match racing 101 right there, and American Magic just getting themselves a little slow and a little locked, and really, really nice job there by Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. I'm sure they would have practiced that one before with Philippe Presti and the coaching staff. I'm sure they've seen that movie plenty of times before. Bit of a replay here. Beautiful job. American Magic there having to not only clear the mark but also clear the transom of Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli there. Restart effectively, and that is a massive, massive deficit to try and make up.
Terry Hutchinson, the top man there in the middle, not happy.
No, that's not a happy Terry Hutchinson, which is understandable. It's a tough one there for the guys.
Don't have to be a body language expert for that one.
No.
I mean, a blatant error by American Magic to get over that ley line. So vulnerable there. Were you surprised by that, Glenn?
Well, I think Luna Rossa did a great job of actually staying up high, and I think initially American Magic didn't think they were going to lay.
We'll start clicking right now. By anytime.
1.
So it's advantage Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli on the first upwind leg of race 7, and the Silver Bullet doing the job.
27. E le volate così. Flat in is good. Start edging right here, Jimmy.
Jimmy Spittle's 8th consecutive America's Cup. I think he's played that move a few times, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done his apprenticeship, old Jimmy, and it's all bread and butter for those guys in the pre-start, that's for sure.
Just for a second. And maybe we hit him on the next one. Okay. Little lefty now. Happy to take here.
2, 1.
Nice path here, guys. Really good pressure.
Press here. 66 here.
Yeah, coming.
Okay, up on this angle. 1 and then left at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with that, Jimmy.
Start coming
Good
up
strong
here.
look at the Luna Rossa
you just got a line.
power group, and
Normal ley line, I think.
one young man in there,
no lower than that.
Luca Kerwin, and the 14 jersey, his
in
father,
two.
John Kerwin, legendary All Black, also wore the 14 as well. I know his mum and his dad and the family are coming up to watch him take part in the America's Cup. So a big moment for a family, and there's so many stories that they talk about the men up the front, but we can't forget about the engines, the human engines powering these 7-ton flying monsters.
Yeah, John Kerwin, pretty handy on the barbecue from experience. I've had a lovely barbecue at John's house a few years ago, and it's fantastic to see Luca here now, you know, coming into the America's Cup fray. Who would have thought quite a few years ago?
Looks like it's tightened up a little bit here coming up to the top mark, but it will be Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli who will round the top mark for the first time ahead of American Magic.
All clear.
Swing Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli around and head for the downwind leg for the first time.
Nice one.
Nice, boys.
American Magic not too far behind here as they come in. They're not really out of touch. I think they started a pretty nice beat, all things considered, after that start.
So American Magic may have had a weak gain on the upwind leg, so all is not lost. They'll head down now and put the foot to the floor.
Just going to have a look at the ghost boat here of some of the options that both teams have going forward, showing a really nice lane there for Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. They're going to get quite a wind down the course there, so if that plays out, that'll be a big advantage to them by the time they get to the bottom of the course.
Yeah, we get a lovely view there from the Winfield of why they're so keen on that right-hand side of the course, the top of the screen as we're looking at it now. I mean, green means more wind, remember, blue less. And it's particularly at the bottom of the track. It looks so good.
Let's go onto the water and our green boat, the Chase Zero, the hydrogen chase boat. Pete? Okay, just a few little issues there, but that's okay. As we said, a magnificent vista of why we're in Barcelona. Look at that for a backdrop of the city of Barcelona and a race course in front of it. Magnificent.
46 knots of boat speed there, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. 6 knots faster at the moment, sailing into that pressure that we identified coming into the bottom of the course, Shirley. You can really see the speed building there.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shifting the axis to 195 and new length 1.85 nautical miles.
Well, if you're wondering why they're changing the course so much, it's because they can. They are autonomous. There's no anchor or line or any of that old school stuff. They just move it with a few buttons. It's brilliant.
Yeah, GPS controlled electric marks, pretty handy for the race committee. You don't have to worry about pulling the anchor up and down like you used to have to do, that's for sure. Quite handy.
You go around Barcelona, it's quite a sustainable city. Lots of bikes, fantastic bike lanes, electric buses, and so much going on in the green area here in Barcelona. It doesn't get any better than watching green boats run around too, like AC-75s with the power of Mother Nature. And Mother Nature's playing her game, and so are these boats. 45.5 knots, downwind on the second leg for Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
Line. I think it's good for one border.
Yes, that right on function, boys.
Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli approaching the bottom mark for the first time to complete leg number 2 of 6 in race 7 of the Louis Vuitton preliminary regatta. This team has already displayed yesterday in their last race of the day yesterday against Orient Express Racing that when they get going, they are a very, very good team, followed through by American Magic. They are hanging in there in Patriot.
Stand back. Put down here in 3, 2, 1. Put down. Cans out a bit earlier, buddy. It's a righty there, unfortunately. So, he's come back.
See how fast these boats are going upwind as Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli ripping across the water there on starboard. Beautiful conditions today, nice flat water, easily sailed boat, so it's really about just getting off the start line and doing the simple things well today, Shirley.
Have a bit of this side, we'll just keep taking it.
You've got to be impressed, haven't you, by Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. Great execution at the start and haven't put a foot wrong. And also just kind of listen to them. There's just there's a lovely sort of confidence. You know, there's no emotion. And I know that they have raced together a lot, obviously, in New Zealand as well. But you have to be impressed with them.
Little press here.
Very, very smooth. And smooth is fast in a lot of high-performance sports, and certainly sailing an AC75, being smooth is definitely fast, and both these teams doing a nice job. And very impressive sailing for sure.
Hey, Trav.
192.
The distance not really growing between the two teams. I mean, American Magic is not slow.
I've got American Magic sailing really quite nicely, to be honest. They obviously played a huge penalty at the start line there, but they're sort of staying in touch with Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. Luna Rossa, they're obviously just a loose cover on American Magic there, not affecting the air of American Magic there because they are just too far to windward there, but they're just keeping a loose cover, making sure that they go the same way as them at the top of the course.
I think from here on, yeah, I think we can just wait for this pop.
Now look at the wind field there. It's got Luna Rossa there sailing into lighter breeze initially, so American Magic, you know, quite a lot faster through the water here, so I've got them a little gain at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see how the top end of the course plays out here with what's coming down.
Little pressure coming, a bit of transition. A flat heel here, nice. Very nice pressure here.
Luna Rossa on a slightly smaller jib as well than American Magic, so opting for a slightly less draggy package, so possibly American Magic being slightly more in the right phase there with the sail plan.
Best I've seen so far. If anything, I will tack a little earlier this time, okay? Compared to 5 seconds.
Should be able to get split here at the top.
Rolling up a little high.
Get pressure in front. 200 breeze. Okay, we've got 15 seconds this way, 15 seconds the other before a left turn.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing about to complete the halfway point of race number 7 here in Barcelona. This is the preliminary regatta. Remember, on the 29th of August, it becomes more than real as we go into the Challenger Selection Series. 2 round robin races featuring the defender as well, Emirates Team New Zealand. Nice. One team will be gone potentially in 2 weeks. American Magic taking the right-hand mark, as you said. It's the left-hand mark on the screen.
All the way down there. Nice.
82 km/h. bear away there, top speed. You can hear the guys pushing the pumps hard. You can hear the drivetrain really straining there to get that traveller and jib and all the settings back to where they need to be for the downwind. So big push there from the cyclors.
Lots of criticism about their cyclor system, recovering bikes, facing backwards, not so efficient. But at least today, they seem to be able to do everything that they need to do. They've made it work.
Let's go on to the chase boat for Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. Philippe Presti joins us now. Hey, Philippe, happy days at the moment, but a solid race too by your opponents.
Yeah, so far so good. And yeah, we had a great start. I mean, it's a magic to have two legends like Keiko and Jimmy just running the pre-start, and they did an awesome job. And then we're holding. Seems very tricky on the water, very shifty. But I hope it's gonna last until the end.
Hi, Philippe. It's Glenn here. You would have seen that movie quite a few times before, mate. It's quite impressive to see. I'm sure that's something that you've done a lot of practice on in pre-start situations, seeing what was unfolding there.
Yeah, we did a lot. We are doing a lot of practice simulator, as you know. But when it comes to the real game, you know, you need the talent of these guys to pull it off. So yeah, hats off.
Nice, mate.
Thanks for your time, Philippe.
You're welcome.
We are on the right, he's on the left. I think we got one and in from here. Even if he drives. I think the ley line was good for the downwind.
Downwind on the fourth leg, and that gap hasn't changed too much, upwind or downwind. So the Americans are hanging in there. They're just waiting for something.
Well, they certainly are hanging in there. They're doing a really nice job there of staying in touch. Obviously, you know, that dirty air, as we spoke about before, coming off Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, or the leading boat. You know, you have to crisscross that at times, but the American Magic guys doing a really nice job of just sailing good pressure and good shifts, so they're doing a great job.
Direction, just drive to the spin.
Sometimes we've got to remind ourselves these boats are going to be tinkered with more and more and more as they get closer to the real deal, and those margins will just come in closer and closer as Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli hits the bottom mark to complete leg number 4 and head upwind on the penultimate leg. Leg number 5 in race 7 of the Louis Vuitton preliminary regatta off the coast of Barcelona.
Okay, we have the speed, no problem.
American Magic just passing close by, saying we are still here. Do not forget about us.
Hey, 35 this way.
Looking for height here, just keep that trap coming up.
Fantastic paint job and fared hull there. You can see the shimmer of how smooth that hull is. Fantastic job there by the shore crew, keeping these boats absolutely pristine and in race condition. It's super impressive to see how well the detailing is on these boats.
It's just like Formula One. They polish everything. They polish everything to the T, right down even at practice. It's spotless. You could ease off these boats.
Hey, he's made a gain there.
American Magic really had to try something. They had to go for the split at the bottom. But we can see the bottom part of that track has always been right-hand favoured. And
it's done well.
Lost a little bit.
Getting attacks on us.
I think we have air to air below.
I think we just get it out of him.
Hey, stand by. 2, 1. And turn it.
I love that shot there. You can see the screen beside Paul Goodison, and that is the foil on the other side. Is that right?
It is, absolutely.
Looks like
and
better pressure this side to me now.
A bit like a reversing camera. You just want that out the front, not out the back, but certainly handy to know whether the board's up or down from that side of the yacht when you're steering. So because you cannot see through the sails, they are basically a brick wall that you're looking at. So cameras are certainly handy across the board.
What else will they have there in that cockpit?
2, 1.
There'll be a lot of screens and a lot of buttons, and we can certainly go into that at a future time. But it is absolutely a flight control centre and a steering control centre. So I think for the average punter, they'd be absolutely shocked at how many functions are inside that.
Very good game, guys.
Onto the chase boat for American Magic, Tom Burnham. Hey, Tom. Start. Do we talk about that?
Yeah, obviously it wasn't what we were planning on, but trying to gain back from where we started and gave them a bit of a jump. But guys are doing a good job keeping the game close enough. But hopefully we'll get a chance here on the last run.
Yeah, Tom, I mean, the boats seem glued together. You know, how pleased are you with the relative pace?
Yeah, it's definitely good to see that the boat's sailing pretty well here and everything. And obviously just need to make sure we come off with at least an even start and be able to be in the game. So made it hard on ourselves in that one.
Hey, Coach, do you have a heart rate monitor on Terry?
No, I don't have a heart rate monitor on Terry, but he's for sure a bit wound up right now, so it's all good.
All right, mate. Thanks for your time, as always.
Thanks, guys.
So I think we go back here. I might just go to the next one in 10 seconds.
It's 198 breeze at the moment, so a little right. Just make a good left.
Yeah, just gonna pressing a little. Okay, stember. Or down in 3, 2, 1, down. Turning.
Squadron.
This is the race committee. We are moving the finish line, shortening the length to 1.8 nautical miles.
How much about?
A little press. Okay, we've got 20 seconds.
So on board, Emirates Pirelli and the helming team as they, for the last time round the top mark, they haven't really been able to shake American Magic, but they are in a fairly strong position as they head down on the final leg number 6 of race 7 of this Louis Vuitton preliminary regatta here in Barcelona.
Right to flattening.
Yeah, great pressure here. All the way.
Jimmy Spittle pretty comfortable. Great communications coming off board. Great pressure, he says, all the way on the downwind leg as American Magic go around that top mark and head home. Their perfect record will be tarnished with this one. They'll go to a 2-1 record.
Jives.
Okay, jive out here. Okay, stand by. Put down in 3, 2, 1. Put down.
Just having a look here. Surely if there is any options for the Americans to get back into this game, you can see the options on the table there, and possibly a little gain if they had have carried on there, but they're just trying to throw everything they can at the Italians to try and force a mistake from them, but they're just sailing the boat too well.
The ghost boat, of course, is calculated with actual time wind from the wind field data, but also with the polars from an AC-75. So it's pretty accurate, but it does have all the information.
That's right, and it doesn't take into account the tactical considerations of what the teams are trying to do. You know, they don't have to take the perfect course in a match race. It's just about staying in front of the other boat, and they only need to win by a boat length, not 100 lengths. So tactical considerations definitely come into play.
Pressure on the left. Again, the ley line was good with the reference, so I think to the left half here. Here it comes. 8 seconds.
Just having a look at some of the buttons.
5.
The flight controller and the helm there.
Anytime.
Like they're in a fighter cockpit there. It's a clear screen for the flight controller, having a fantastic view of the course area and the water ahead.
Is it true that there's something like 1,000 bits of data that the helm is seeing every second to find the optimum route?
If their eyes are open, there's plenty of data to look at. Sometimes you need to look at that, and other times you just need to look out the window. So it's very much a combination of utilising all that data and that information being presented. It's also about feeling the boat through your body as well. So it's a real combination of a lot of information being processed very, very quickly.
You make an interesting point. Some say when you get in a simulator, it's sort of real, you get all that practice, but it's not like you get it in the real thing. The real deal right now is Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. They will take their second win of the Louis Vuitton preliminary regatta here in Barcelona, and they do it in style. And there'll be lots of smiles on that boat and on the shore team as well.
Stay on two boards.
That's what it means. Little low fives, the whole 9 yards. Coach Philippe Presti in the middle of your screen right now. And American Magic, one final drive to the bottom, and they will cross, and their perfect record is gone. 2 wins, 1 loss, but still well in the hunt for this preliminary regatta, with 1 race to go today between Orient Express Racing and Emirates Team New Zealand. Tom Slingsby says it all. Bad luck, lads. They know where it all went wrong. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli with a 42nd win in 23 minutes and 22 seconds on the 3 laps of the course.
Yeah, this moment at the start really set the whole race up in Italy's favour here. You know, in a match race, the ideal start is to really give your opposition a bad start. And that's exactly what they did there, just putting American Magic fully on the back foot, coming off the line. Now, leg 3, not a whole lot American Magic could do there, with not huge amounts of shifts coming through, and Luna Rossa there just sort of staying in touch early with, you know, in between their opponents and the mark.
A nice win for Luna Rossa. Good, solid start from, well, before the start to the finish. Nice work, Italy. But a lot to take away for American Magic. Tricky start, but kept the race tight.
Let's go on board Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. They make it 2 wins now out of 3 races. And Francesco, that start, that must be so satisfying. Francesco and Stephen here from AC37 commentary. That start, satisfying for the team and yourself and Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy did a fantastic job, and well, the whole team did a fantastic job. I'm very proud today with how we sailed the boat, and yeah, we are super, super happy.
Starting to get a real feel of that when you're fighting real now against opposition?
Yeah, I mean, the Americans, we know that are a tough team to beat, and that was an important point today. I'm super happy with how we managed the race, not just the pre-start, the whole race, and the boat was going fast today, so very happy.
Grazie, mate. Let's move on to American Magic. Tom Slingsby, we saw the reaction of the chase boat with that start. Kicking yourself a bit?
Yeah, no, that's on me. That's my mistake. I thought we were not going to be able to get held out above the boat end, and we turned up under the boat lay, but yeah, they did a great job of holding high and slow and forced us up there, so hats off to them. Great job by our team to stay in it, but yeah, we've got work to do, and yeah, we're not afraid of that, so we've got to keep chipping away.
All right, mate, we'll see you tomorrow.
Cheers, guys.
Well, this was the key moment at the start, and it set the whole race up for Italy. Held the American Magic over the start line, forcing American Magic to do this big dive down in order to start. Difficult moment for the American team, heads down there.
Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli is here to make a mark on the world stage. In modern America's Cup history, they're the perennial bridesmaid. Over the course of 40 years, they've won the right to compete for the old mug 3 times, but sailing's most elusive piece of silverware has always slipped. Their pursuit for America's Cup glory starts again now.
Italy first time in the America's Cup was in 1983, and that was with Azzurra.
They start as an adventure more than a real challenge.
It started making some people dreaming, like me. I was only 10 when I listened to the radio about the news about the Azzurra. Sailing was totally new for people, and that started a very big and long process. First time for Luna Rossa was back in 2000 in Auckland, and that was also a very, very clear memory for a lot of Italians and me.
Obviously, when we start, I don't think everyone was giving us much consideration. I think during the round robin, when we start sailing and racing, I mean, the value of the team start to come out.
Prada have got them. They're going to cast them out and they tack. That is absolutely magnificent stuff.
Nobody was expecting Luna Rossa to do so well, to win semi-finals, finals, and get into the America's Cup against the Kiwis.
In 2021, for only the second time in their history, Luna Rossa will be the official challenger for the America's Cup.
Fantastico! È bellissimo! È bellissimo!
Well, it was an important achievement winning the Prada Cup in Auckland for 2 reasons. One, because obviously the name of the cup was Prada, and secondly, because we were alone there.
Everybody was at home in lockdown, and it was something very special for them and for us.
I think people sometimes underestimate the situation, how bad it was in Italy. So I think we give a little bit of hope to people.
They have put up a fight, and they have done the America's Cup and Italy proud.
Well, I think winning the Prada Cup meant a lot, but that's now in the rearview mirror. All we've got to focus on is what's in front of us.
Every day we go in the water, we have an extra push, and the extra push is made by all our fans. We really feel we have another gear compared to the other teams.
I really want to win the cup, and it's my nightmare and my dream at the same time. And in Barcelona there is still an open book against Team New Zealand, which we want to finish the end. And so we need to write the last few pages of the book to then be able to put the book in the library.
So just a note here, we've heard from race management, there is a 5-minute delay to the final race of the day, which is between Orient Express Racing looking for their first win and Emirates Team New Zealand looking to go 3-0, 2 identical boats. And Orient Express Racing will be racing against the benchmark, you might say. They've been doing a lot of work overnight after yesterday, a lot of time on the sim this morning as we take a look at a beautiful panorama of Barcelona. You can see there the beautiful Arts Hotel. They, along with the W Hotel in Barcelona, are allowing us to put cameras on top of them so we can show you some beautiful, beautiful shots of the Catalan capital. This is Barcelona. But let's talk about the 75s, the most technologically advanced sailing fleet on the planet, battling it on the waters off the coast of Barcelona. The AC75, you've seen it, it's impressive. It's had quite the tune-up since the last Cup. It's quicker and, yes, meaner than ever. So what's changed for version 2 of the world's fastest falling monohull? And what will the new protocol mean for this year's regatta?
The yacht for the 37th America's Cup is an AC75, but it's the new, improved AC75. The boats are about 1 ton lighter.
The weight was mainly taken out of the foils.
One of the ways we reduced the total weight of the boat was also to reduce the crew from 11 to 8.
I think with these changes in mind, the AC75 should perform a lot better in the lower wind speeds.
We want the race to be decided by the sailors and the boat design, not the weather forecast.
The masts, rigging, foil cant arms and the hydraulic cant system are all standard components across all of the boats.
The foil wings are what's carrying the entire weight of the boat.
The foil wings this campaign have grown from 4 metres to 4.5 metres in length, so they're now longer and skinnier. And this time the teams are only allowed to build 3 foils for their AC75s. And this is where the game can be lost or won.
The rudder has 2 tasks. The first task is to control the direction in which we sail. And the second one is to stabilize the pitch angle at which the boat is sailing. It's the same as the tailwing on a plane.
Everything that moves under the water is hydraulically controlled, but this is powered by batteries.
The crew of 8 is pretty much split into 2 groups.
We've got 4 sailors on the boat. We've got a helm on each side.
The helmsmen are largely steering. The trimmers are controlling the foils, the flight altitude of the boat.
And then there'll be 4 cyclors, 2 on each side. Their job is to provide the power to move all of the different sail controls, and this happens via the hydraulic system.
The hull is principally about aerodynamics, but also all of the systems we need to fit into that.
So the control systems are more complex this time, such that with a single push of a button, the sailors can do several things at the same time.
Put your head inside one of those AC75s, you would be absolutely amazed at what goes on to make those boats work. Like, they are quite something. They are a serious piece of engineering.
In this protocol, you're only allowed to build 1 AC75, but it does put a lot of pressure on the team, specifically the design team, because you've only got 1 bullet really to fire.
We still call it a boat, we call it a hull, but yeah, it's closer to an aeroplane.
Just staggering. Time for race number 8, and it's Orient Express Racing, Emirates Team New Zealand.
Well, this is an exciting addition to the lineup. This is a campaign full of promise. Their boat is a sister ship to the Kiwis, so it promises speed. Their sailing team is full of youth, talent and desire. Driving, Delapierre and Pepinay, trimming Saunders and Van Damme, and a power group headed today by rowing giants, the Verhoeven brothers, world indoor rowing champion Nogueira and former Youth America's Cup sailor Lepile.
And back for their second race of the day today, the defending champions, Emirates Team New Zealand. Same steerers, same trimmers, Peter Burling, Nathan Outridge, Andy Maloney and Blair Tuke, but we do have a cyclor change with Cam Webster joining Dougal Allen, Hamish Bond and Louis Crosby, powering the pumps for the sails on the AC75.
So, okay, some breaking news here for race number 8. We have just been informed that Orient Express Racing have retired right before the start of this race. We are still trying to get a reason as to why, and we will get that to you as soon as possible. But let's see if we get to Quentin Delapierre. Quentin, it's Stephen here in AC37. What's going on, mate?
Major technical issue on board. Nothing too big for tomorrow or the next days, but we prefer to keep the boat state in good shape to be ready for tomorrow and the day after.
All right, Quentin, I missed the first part of your question, but your answer. Did you say major technical issue? Nothing specific?
Yeah, Nothing specific, but we just need to keep the yacht in good shape for the next day. So I prefer to retire from the Defender today.
All right, appreciate the time, mate. I know it's a tough one to swallow, but we shall see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Wow, how about that? We do have to realise, though, that the Defender will have to start to gain the official point, and it'll be the second time the Defender, Emirates Team New Zealand, have been basically handed a win, and it's not. And they don't want this, like any of us want this, but that's just a real shame for Orient Express Racing, who we were chatting to this morning, and all about confidence and gaining that confidence.
A real shame for Orient Express Racing Team there. They will bounce back though. They've got a fantastic group of people. They'll sort out that issue and absolutely be back on the water for the main show over the coming days. Emirates Team New Zealand, we'll listen to their onboards here, but obviously sailing by themselves. They'll still go through the motions though.
That's the important thing, right? You may be racing against yourself here, but to work yourself, you have a pre-planned exercise here, right? Into your startups.
Absolutely, there'll be a plan of attack here. It would have been pre-organised before the start. They'll be executing this plan. Coaching staff of Ray Davies, Sam Meach, Joshy Jr. on board the chase boat there. It'll be just an execution process here, and they'll be going through the motions, utilising the valuable time that they've got on the water here.
It is great practice, isn't it? You don't get many opportunities to use the race management software, all the boundaries and everything. And great opportunity just to check in, and I'm sure we're about to see, well, a masterclass of how it's done.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm a bit gutted because I was looking forward to seeing the two identical boats have a go at each other. And when we were chatting to the folk at Orient Express this morning, you know, they know they've got a fast boat, and they know their learning curve is that the trajectory is, you know, like a rocket going up into the stars. But you just want to see them have a good crack at it.
What are you on, bottoms or push? Go bottoms initially. Trying to drag them forward here. One. Let's step off and push. 2, 1, here we go.
This is really nice here, even, you know, with sailing around by themselves without having their opponent. They're basically pretending they've got a virtual opponent there, so...
down. Almost a minute. 6, 5, 4, don't overshoot it. Oh yeah, sorry. Let's go. 100% now. What up? It's final, guys. Up in 3, 2, 1. And one on the breeze.
Emirates Team New Zealand will start alone on race number 8 of the Louis Vuitton.
France has retired. The race is stopped and awarded to New Zealand.
Preliminary regatta. There is the confirmation from Richard Slater, the umpire. Game over for Orient Express today, and the 1 point goes to Emirates Team New Zealand, the Defender, and they have the perfect record and will top the tree at the end of day number 2 with the 3 points for the wins, 3 wins. But they won't be happy about not having a crack at another team and just going through the processes.
I think if we were racing, we wouldn't take that one. Should take this next one. Yep.
That's funny, listening to their comms, isn't it, Glenn? I mean, they were pretty happy with their start.
Yeah, we're talking about it after. This one.
A bit easier to start when you're by yourself for sure, but still good to see the boat getting thrown around and always learning.
We'll just go to top mark and come down for a
We
nice,
are seeing all these boats being thrown around, and they are being, and we're remembering it, we've said it a couple of times, there's 7-ton boats to throw around on a foil or both boards down. I mean, what do you learn when you see them doing it with precision?
I mean, I think I, like you, can think back 3.5 years. My goodness, what a progression. It was sort of nursing the boats around the track, expecting something terrible to happen. And not now. They are chucking them around the Mediterranean.
Happy all the way.
A huge progression, Glenn.
Even though we're a little right.
It certainly has been. You know, lot of work, a lot of development, a lot of fine-tuning, you know, that's gone into these next generation boats, and you know, pretty much in every single aspect of the boat there's been improvements. So you know, sails, masts, rigging, systems, the whole boats have taken a big jump forward, and certainly in the light air performance they've stepped up a lot. Looks like they're just shutting the boat down here, and that'll pretty much be get the boat back to the dock, hand it over to the shore crew, and have an early knock. In their dreams, it'll still be a late night, so an early knock is no such thing in the America's Cup.
I went and talked to Ryan about the foot angle limits.
So they get the 1 point, not having to do too much except to cross the line, but we all certainly feel for Orient Express Racing, because they are, in many ways, some are tagging the underdogs, but we haven't seen the best of them. We keep saying, and we'll keep saying, because we've seen it, we have been privileged to see it in practice racing. They are a quick boat. Pete Burling on Emirates Team New Zealand. Oh, Pete, it's not really what you want, huh? You want a really good practice day out there, huh?
Yeah, it's a real shame. We obviously had a really fun first race against 2 seconds. Yeah, really fun first race against Ben. Obviously, yeah, a really fun pre-start, I should say, but a bit of a soldier's course on the race. But yeah, we're looking forward to another one against the French, but wasn't to be.
Yeah, no, real shame, Pete. Glennie here. Obviously, on a day like today, the conditions being fairly smooth, it's probably the easiest day to get these boats around the track. I was just wondering if you could give some of the listeners a bit of an insight on what you can actually see, you know, looking forwards, and how easy the boats are to sail in these conditions versus when it gets windier.
Yeah, well, I definitely can't see a lot to the left, as you would have already described to the audience. We kind of don't have any windows or anything, so you know, really rely on the sailors, Blair and Nate, on the left-hand side of the yacht to be my eyes down there. You know, daylight today is actually pretty nice, pretty steady breeze, pretty flat water, so you can sail. The boat's incredibly accurate, pretty easy for the grinders, but yeah, I think if Sunday's forecasting in to go by, it's going to be a big day for sure.
Might be a bit more exciting, you reckon?
Yeah, could be some big waves around, so I think whoever you've got on your hydrogen chase boat camera duties might have a bit on keeping up.
Pete, just back to today. I mean, sharing that helming role in that pre-start, and obviously first cup alongside Nathan Outridge. What is that like, and how difficult has it been to build that decision making again?
Yeah, well, we've sailed together so I should probably start off with, we've sailed against each other for a very long time, so we kind of know each other, know how each other operates a bit around the racetrack, and then, yeah, 3 years or whatever it's been since we've started sailing together. It's been a long time as well, and you know, a lot of really fun in-house racing against you know, Josh, Sam, Marcus, the rest of our training crew that's not on the boat right now, and yeah, it's been awesome to see the way the campaign's unfolded, get more and more comfortable with the way we're going about racing, and it's funny now how we used to run around the rig, but every time you get out, even to just a leech cord or check something, now it feels so windy and draggy doing it that you wonder why you went there in the first place.
Okay, Pete, we'll let you go, but just quickly before we go, how's fatherhood?
Yeah, it's been awesome, mate. It's awesome to have Luce and the little one up here in Barcelona with us, and yeah, it's getting a little bit colder now, which is nice. It's definitely super hot just before all you guys rocked into town, so hopefully it stays at this kind of nice, beautiful Barcelona temperatures, nice breeze. It's been yeah, picturesque racing for sure.
Thank you for your time, buddy. We'll see you tomorrow.
Cheers, mate. Do you guys want Nate as well, or are you happy?
Oh, we'd talk to him if we had the time, if he's listening.
Yeah. I'll get him to get in this cockpit. Hey, Nato, do you want to do an interview on your side?
So while we... do you want
to do an interview on your side?
I'm going to be told off by my director for directing from the floor now, as they say. But look, there is Tohoro, the beautiful boat, Emirates Team New Zealand, defender of the 37th America's Cup, presented by Louis Vuitton, getting their 1 point today. So they go 3-0, and Nathan Outridge.
Can you hear me?
Nathan Outridge should be locked and loaded. Hey, Nate, how you going?
Yeah, good, thanks, Stephen.
It's been a comfortable early start to this preliminary campaign. How are you finding it all going? The boat looks great. You guys just look all solid.
Yeah, it's all going really well. It was great to have a good first race against Ineos and yeah, get some practice racing in really for us. It's you know, definitely something we've been waiting for a while, so good to be putting our best foot forward at the moment.
The combination with you and Peter, he was talking about you guys in the old days when you were younger, having a crack at each other and the Olympics. But it seems to be a really sharp combination now.
Yeah, it does. It's interesting when you spend the best part of a decade racing against someone and then you become teammates and you start to put your heads together. It's been an enjoyable process and, yeah, really looking forward to the couple of months ahead here.
Nathan, we're really enjoying the onboard comms. I mean, you paint the picture so beautifully. I mean, how different has that been for you, just having to talk through everything?
It's much nicer to be doing commentary from on the boat than in the booth with you guys, like we did a few years ago. But yeah, it's a big part of the racing. You only see half the race, so you know, when you have a better view, you've got to make sure everyone else is on the same page as you, and vice versa. So there's definitely a lot of work that's got into it, and you know, we're, as I said, enjoying the process of now putting this work into the racing, and you know, I quite like being out here and enjoying the racing. It's a shame we didn't get this one away, but you know, there'll be more tomorrow.
Okay, I'll accept the swipe, mate, and you just go and do what you do so well, because I know folks around the world are enjoying what this crew is doing. We'll talk to you again, buddy.
Thanks, mate. Stephen, I knew you wouldn't get offended.
I'm not offended, mate, but you owe me one. There's Nathan Outteridge on board Emirates Team New Zealand, the defender of the 37th America's Cup. You know, spying, I love this, spying is an America's Cup tradition. Long lens cameras, pursuit boats, drones, trackers, divers, submersibles have all been used to gather critical information on opponents. However, a new rule has now made espionage a thing of the past. Yes, there are still reconnaissance teams, but they work together and share their information with every team.
The recon units for this America's Cup have spent the last 2.5 years tracking the 6 teams involved in this America's Cup. They spent more than 1,000 days on the water. Essentially, the role is really to chronicle the progress of the teams as they try and develop and refine their latest generation AC-75s in the effort to win sailing's oldest and most prestigious trophy.
So a day on the AC-37 recon program starts, arriving at the team base 15 minutes before the rollout of the boat.
Looks like they've been playing with the weights on the shrouds.
Yeah, they're in a different position than the previous day.
We're allocated a square within 25 meters of the mast wall, and we've got to stay in this spot and observe, film, and take photos of all the little details.
We really film everything we possibly can. When the boat's craned into the water, it's a great time to take pictures of the foils, the rudder, the underside of the boat. Those are views we don't get very often. When the boat leaves the dock, we leave immediately afterwards, and we're really in work mode at that point, recording what goes on.
My role in the recon team is the photographer and filmmaker. Basically, what they have to do is to film photos and video of all what happened during the training section of the teams.
We're chasing the boats, we're trying to keep up with the boats, and these AC-75s and even the AC-40s are doing speeds excess of 40 knots. Sometimes easier for them to maintain those speeds than it is for us.
So they're just doing a race right now, race against themselves. 4 AC-75s on the water. There's Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, Alinghi Red Bull Racing, Orient Express Racing Team, and Ineos Britannia. So everyone's getting in the mix.
So my job as a recon driver is to put Alex, my cameraman, in the position to get the best shots that the recon representatives in the other teams need to analyze their competitors, as well as documenting what they're testing and how they're carrying out their operations on the water.
We have to hang around like paparazzi for see if we can catch it when they roll the sailbag up.
The rib driver role is essential for the photographers because I'm fully focused on the camera. I don't have eyes outside that, so basically my eyes outside the camera.
Hugo is an ex-Volvo Ocean Race onboard reporter, so I'm very lucky to be working with Hugo because after sailing around the world on a Volvo 65, then hanging onto the side of the rib with me is not quite as challenging, but it makes a big difference in the quality of the footage and the photographs that we get.
What I do is I use a harness and I'm clipped to the chase boat, so I feel free to hold the camera to get the most stable shots I can.
They're bringing down the sails. It looks like we're done for the day. We're going home.
The end of the day for us, we'll head back to the dock and we set up then for a 3-minute interview, which we do every sailing day. And we choose a sailor that we think can give us answers to some questions relevant to the day. Do you get any feeling for the relative performances of the boats in those situations?
Yeah, for sure you do.
We've got to try extract as much information as possible within a 3-minute time frame.
Did an issue with the boat end the day early?
No.
The interviewee is trying to give away as little as possible, so that can be quite a challenge. Grazie, Max.
That's all.
Once we've wrapped up at the base, we'll head home. Alex, my cameraman, will go and edit the photos and the videos, and meanwhile I'll write a report and summarize the day, get as much information as possible to build as clear a picture for the teams and the media.
For me, being a recon camera has been a very exciting job, a very, very nice experience to share with 2 years with many teams to see how they work, how they train, and has been a very, very good experience for me.
Can you slow down a bit? Finally, we have been able to see from inside all the development that goes behind an AC75. And I have to say, it's something incredible. From the prototypes to which pieces they are changing every day, to which sail they are using, the different conditions. So I feel pretty privileged to be in this role.
So spying but not spying, I suppose that's what you could call it. We're in just a reminder, we are in the beautiful city of Barcelona, and race number 8, Orient Express Racing had to retire with a major technical which gave New Zealand their 3rd win of the regatta. That will put them to the top of the table, but I enjoyed the reconnaissance. I thought it was fun.
It was good, wasn't it? And it stopped that massive expense, you know, every team having a team of spies, you know, on each of the other teams, and it meant that we could all enjoy it. Sailing fans around the world could get a glimpse, just a glimpse of what it was all about. They did a fantastic job. Imagine every day out in the rib doing 40 knots.
I think I'd prefer to be on that recon boat, just looking at the pictures here at the moment, than being on one of those ribs. But recon, a massive, massive part. Bit of saxophone, bit of guitar.
Oh, here we go.
But no, look, recon, a hugely important part, and I've certainly been involved with a lot of recon, and that actually in the early days can actually be one of the keys to knowing what your opponents are working on, and actually feeds into the design, it feeds into the engineering. So a hugely important component of the process going forward. Grant Dalton there, be pretty pleased with how the boys are sailing the boat, you know, in that first race today. That's why we're going to foiling chase boats in the future, because the old displacement boats aren't the smoothest of rides, as you see everyone doing the dance on the way back to the dock. But no, the hydrogen chase boats that are being worked on, obviously foiling, and are going to be a huge part of the future in the marine industry going forwards.
Got to say though, we love the current chase boat dance. This is Barcelona, home to the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup, and we will tomorrow head into day 3 of the preliminary regatta. You know, behind every great film and television show and even sporting event like this is a brilliant soundtrack. It creeps into the subconscious, creates tension, gravitas, and sets the scene for a memorable and sometimes historical day of action. So how do they do it? Well, Ali Lieberman was given the task of composing a music score that captured the essence of sailing, the America's Cup, and Barcelona.
I wanted to do something iconic that when
It comes up if you're in the bar or if you're in the street or if you're at home. I want you to get the feels. I want to feel something. My name is Arlie Lieberman, and I am the composer of the 37th America's Cup theme.
Molt bé.
Molt bé. Hey. It was quite challenging finding the right formula of making this theme belong to Barcelona, but also belong to America's Cup. It was very important for me to capture the sound of the boat. That gave me an enormous variety of different sound, and the sound palette was very, very wide. And all the percussions and a lot of the roars all comes out of that boat. And that gives it a real, it's almost like a creature, but it's also a very mechanical sound. To balance it and to give the other shade of it in order to appreciate it, we had to bring the human power, and there's nothing more powerful than the human voice. So basically, it needs to be quite powerful. It needs to be very, very high energy. Yeah. We really wanted to celebrate the beauty of this particular region. When I did the research of trying to get the ingredients of finding something that is authentically Catalan, the sonic fabric that we had to go with and we wanted to go with is the voice of the place. Not just figuratively, but physically the voice of the place. And the solution would be going with Orfeo Català. Thank you, all of you, for coming here. I'm very, very, very grateful that we got the opportunity to have you using your colors on top of that piece.
El cor de noies del Palau de la Música, de l'Orfeo Català, és un dels cors, diria que és el més important dins d'aquest tipus de cors, de cor de noies, perquè pertany a una casa molt important, que és el Palau de la Música, i a una família que ve liderada pel cor amateur amb més prestigi, possiblement, en aquest país, Catalunya, que és l'Orfeo Català. I, per tant, estem embolcallats amb una gran família a dins d'una gran casa que és el Palau de la Música.
Amazing, amazing, perfect. Performances is all about real connection. So I had to take a plane and go to Barcelona. Pretty much off the plane, I had to go to the studio. Once we start going, just listening to them and being right in the middle next to them and hearing the piece coming together. For me, you just felt like excited and a little bit emotional. Okay, now we're cooking.
Let's go!
I think the combination of all those aggressive boat sounds and the choir have this inevitable reflection on the cup itself when it comes to the dynasty and the lineage. And that really helps celebrating that's quite powerful element of this whole competition. This is definitely one of the most special sessions I've ever had, you know, because you're a very, very special group, and you should be very proud of yourself. You're part of history now. To mix it, I wanted somebody that had the understanding of massive sound with very delicate, subtle attention to details, and one of my closest friends, Tiki Tane, graciously agreed to mix the piece. The reason you're here is because you're my closest.
What I heard just then coming out, well, it's great.
Oh yeah, cool.
Ali's made an incredible piece of music. It just stands alone by itself amazingly, so whatever I can do to help embellish that and serve that and enhance that is just is awesome. So yeah, loving it.
We went for a really, really big size for an opening titles because, you know, we're going to look back at it in 25 years and we'll be like, yeah, we didn't hold back. That's really cool.
That's really cool, guys.
Very cool indeed. The uber-talented Ali Lieberman, based in New Zealand, and with the likes of a very strong producer, Tikitane, out of New Zealand, who is well-renowned in New Zealand. They have produced another magical piece that actually, I'm just talking about it, getting goosebumps about it, but the craft of producing the theme, it's just such an important part of the whole package we deliver in the world of television.
They're so talented, aren't they? I mean, I feel quite tingly as well watching that. What a great production, what amazing talent. And I love that connection between here and the noises the boat make, and it is like it's alive somehow.
It certainly is. The boats are definitely alive, and to have some connection with the city and the music, and yeah, super powerful piece, and really wonderful to hear.
So we are looking at Barceloneta, the main beach of Barcelona here, where we are hosting the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. Let's wrap up day number 2. What did we learn today? What did we learn, about, first of all, American Magic?
Well, I certainly think American Magic really had a solid day today. They had a really cleanly sailed boat. The package looked well, and I think they'll have some fantastic takeaways from the day.
Emirates Britannia, I hate to put it on you, Shirley, but Emirates Britannia have got some work to do, haven't they?
Yeah, what we learned today was how crucial the pre-starts are. I mean, nearly every match won and lost in that final approach to the line, and yeah, lots to debrief for Emirates Britannia.
Are we looking at Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli now with two wins in the bag as one of the big dogs?
I certainly think Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, are going to be one of the stronger challengers. There's no question that the team, a lot of experience, a lot of depth of talent across the board there. So I'm absolutely thinking they're going to be in the mix for sure.
And we know what Emirates Team New Zealand can deliver. They just haven't been able to show it too much. And Lingy Red Bull Racing are in the hunt, and we would just really love to see more from Orient Express Racing. I got to say, we were there this morning having a wee chat, and we do love their idea, that their motto, because they're the underdog, efficiency and simplicity is their motto. Yet we haven't been able to see that yet, but it just sticks so perfectly with what an AC75 should be sailed like.
They will get there, absolutely. No question of a doubt that Orient Express Racing will come out firing, and when the firing does fire, they will be a boat to watch. They're absolutely going to be on fire, I think, when they get off the start line and they can sail the boat as it should be sailed.
France excels in so many areas of this sport, and they are determined to excel now in the America's Cup. This team is about longevity. This is not just about here in Barcelona.
Yeah, it's about playing the long game, and they're comfortable playing the long game, and that was the most revealing thing from chat this morning as the spectator fleet started to head back in towards the port of Barcelona and the Sagrada Familia. Wow. Let's take a look at what happened today, and just some of the best sailing we saw on our course today. Happy days with their first race for American Magic against the Lingy Red Bull Racing, and then Emirates Team New Zealand, the defender, came out against GBR and put on a show.
They certainly did. They sailed really cleanly, and then the next race, absolutely clinical there by Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli with American Magic, and from hero to zero, American Magic.
So it's been a busy day number 2 of the Louis Vuitton preliminary regatta here in Barcelona, but there is more still to come. Let's just update you as to where things stand. Well, there are the points. Just go to the end column. Points. Emirates Team New Zealand with the perfect result so far. Italians now getting into their groove, as are American Magic. Switzerland with the 1 win, but it's down the bottom. You've got to be concerned for Orient Express Racing, and also Emirates Britannia, the challenger of record. Tomorrow, another busy day of racing. Here's how it shapes off the coast of Barcelona on the Med. GBR, Lingy Red Bull Racing, American Magic France, Italy, GBR, and Emirates against Lingy Red Bull Racing. So we have had another day of racing where the fans and the teams have once again delivered for us on the Mediterranean. The fan zones, the race village have been chock-a-block full of people, and as they dock out every time, they go out that hope that they will be the next one to post a win in this preliminary regatta. But it's all got one thing in the the mirror. That mirror says, we've got to get ahead towards the 37th America's Cup. See you tomorrow.